All right, guys, welcome back to another video. Today we got something cool going on, and as you see from the thumbnail, we got our Blazer, which I already introduced a while back with the Danger Ranger stuff, but let's take a look at this thing again. All right, so we got a little S10 two-door Blazer. We got a little 5.3 LS sitting there, and we are going to LS swap this with a T56 transmission in it for Cleetus's Burnout Competition. And the whole point of this build is we're going to try and do it as cheap as possible. So hopefully I can insert a clip, but you'll see in one of his videos he shows where he is going to ask, or he tells that in the new rules for the Burnout Competition, it's $3,000 to the winner of the, what is it, the Open Burnout, I think they call it.
And I just want to say, guys, we have stepped up Cleetus and Cars to a whole new level to get you guys better burnouts. Listen to this. The Burnout Competition payouts for the Open class, which is the smaller class, $3,000 to the winner, $1,500 to second, $1,000 to third, $500 to fourth, $250 to fifth place.
So the Open Burnout Competition, $3,000 to the winner. So we're going to hope to build this thing for $3,000. So the whole time we'll go over what each part costs and putting it together. So we'll be real cheap. We're not going to run a Holly in it. We're going to do a cheap stock harness with stock computer, and we'll have Dillard put a tune on it. But you can see our really cheap, I think this was 300 or 350 bucks for this 5.3. She's pretty crusty, but we'll get her all cleaned up. And we'll take you over to the board and we'll kind of go over some of the parts that we already got for it.
Hey, Aaron, let's get a turbo 350, not 256.
Did I say T56? Yeah. I'm so used to saying T56. Well, it's a turbo 350. Turbo 350, it's sitting in here. We'll show it to you. There it is. I got a brand new, or rebuilt from a guy in new torque converter, and I believe this was $650 for the setup with the torque converter. All right, so we're going to start out on the board here and go over a preliminary list of stuff we have for this, and we'll continue as we go through the project of everything that we got. So the shell was 900 bucks. The 5.3 actually cost me 300. Turbo 300 was 650 bucks. Oil pump, which I got just because of some cheap insurance for the engine. Hopefully, you know, keep everything good. $125. We got a cheap engine harness from eBay. That was $105. We'll still need a computer for that. Alternator was $100. Engine mounts are about $52. Water pumps $80. And I got some spacers to space that out to the truck spacing, and then a flex plate that will adapt our LS to the Turbo 300 was $100. So that leaves us at around $2,400. So we're looking at about $570 left for the project. So we definitely have a bunch more stuff to buy, a lot of miscellaneous stuff. I'm probably not going to add in some of the prices just because we have some other stuff from it, but if you didn't, then you'd need to add a little bit of that. We took all of the fuel lines out of the old Burnout truck and changed that to PTFE lines for E85 so we can run that in the future. So those lines should work for this. There is some parts that came with the truck. We have a radiator in there with a fan, drive shaft that will hopefully work. I believe it was the same setup, so hopefully that kind of works. And then I think we have the drive shaft from the S10, but I think that length won't work. So I'm going to try and use some of the other parts to make this all happen, but we'll keep you guys informed as we go on what I'm going to count, what I'm not, towards the overall build total. So yeah, the goal is to get this thing built. We got like 2.5-3 weeks to get this done, similar to our old when we built the S10, which is over there the first time. So yeah, we're gonna get this thing built and then hopefully go out to Cleetus and Cars, looking at going to Indy, which is in 3 weeks, and hopefully win it. And that way we'll get our money back and then basically show you guys that for what his purse is, you guys can build one and make your money back. So that way it makes it more financially responsible for you to do. So yeah, I'm excited about this one. I hope that you guys are too, because this is something that anybody out there can do. This is easy stuff. We don't have a lift or anything. We're gonna do it right on the garage floor in there. You can see where the 240 is, and just some jack stands you get from Harbor Freight, even though maybe you shouldn't use those because there's a recall, whatever. And yeah, so this is our little S10 Blazer. Real excited. I always wanted one of these square bodies. I love them so much. Actually, my first car was a two-door Blazer, similar to this, but the rounded body style. So this one hits home for me. Under the hood and under there's absolutely nothing, but we will have to cut the cross member there just like we did in the S10 to make this guy fit, because we are going to stick with the truck pan, which is pretty deep, because obviously we don't want to spend more money on another pan. So next for this, we're going to tear this apart. We'll put the time lapse up and just kind of give a little health check of this to make sure everything's still good. We'll take off the valve covers, take a look. Got to change the oil pump out anyway. So let's get to that, and then we will get onto the Blazer and getting everything in there. All right, guys, so this thing is caked in all kinds of grime and grease, and it's definitely not looking the best in there. On the other sides of the valve covers, you can see a little bit of milkiness, which doesn't look great, but we did take a risk with this one, being how cheap it was, the $300 mark, so I didn't really know. If we do have to go through and put a set of head gaskets on it, we can do that. I think we still have money in the budget, maybe head studs, or we just go with stock bolts, but we will see. So still up in debate on that, but we're definitely gonna get this whole thing cleaned up, get all this grime looking better, clean up the block, probably paint it as well, clean up the front. We gotta get rid of the AC compressor there, we don't need that. New oil pump will go in, and we'll start getting this thing set up to go in the truck. I will say though, our old 6.0 that we did the other Burnout Competition with did look pretty similar in how crusty it was, but we flushed it out with diesel oil, got it really clean, and she's, as you see, running great. 600 miles on that motor, drag and drive, so it did pretty well. So that is going to do it for this first video. It's probably pretty short, but I wanted to just introduce the project and show you guys exactly what we're going to do for this upcoming Cleetus cars. Hopefully we can get everything done, but I wanted to show you guys that it's possible for you guys to go out there and build your own burnout trucks and show up to Cleetus cars, have fun, do a burnout, and be a part of it, all for under $3,000 or $3,000 in that mark, and then hopefully win it back. So hope you guys like the project. Comment down below, do you think we're gonna be able to finish it in time for Cleetus cars? Do you think we're gonna be able to stay in budget? That's gonna be the biggest thing. I'm a little worried about that. I think there's like $600 left, we'll see. But make sure you guys like and comment down below, subscribe, and we'll see you in the next one here in the next week or so. So see you later.